Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Last Cloudia. I hope everybody is enjoying the new update. Lots of interesting things happened, and I'm actually surprised that the update didn't take super long. I was really expecting it to go way more than 3 hours, but they actually kept up to their word. I'm shocked because of how big this was. Also, special shout out to Davin and Eliza. They got a nice little boost. I'm not going to talk about it here in this video, but just want to do a shout out. I actually like how they redid their kit, making them actually worth playing. So I'm definitely going to be working on them in the background. And of course, on the July one, there's a couple of characters I'm going to be updating there. I'll get into that another day. But of course, today you are here to see the new character and arc. So let's get to it. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have Lougseus, God of Ruin, the one of the actual boss as far as in-game content is concerned. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how they built him as a character. Now, keep in mind that in this first impression, this will be the first time that we're looking at a full static character with the newer updates, meaning that this is max level 110 instead of 100, and this is enhanced to 5 stars instead of 4 stars. So that might change your impression on some of these stats, but I wanted to make that disclaimer in case certain people don't notice it and wonder why the numbers are the way they are. So, with these new updates, let's take a look at what he has. So we're looking at some pretty high strength and intelligence. This is definitely going to be a hybrid character. 15-15 strength, 15-46 intelligence. Defense and mind are about, mid to high. It's not terrible. 8,160 HP. That's a lot. A whole lot. And of course, 265 MP, I think it would be around standard-ish, so that's not too bad. Resistant to pretty much all elements with the exception of light. And then as far as ailment resistance, he's null to both illness and curse, which is pretty good too. Now, as far as his actual abilities are concerned, he's basically a dark attacker. So the things that are a little bit different is the S2. This gives you the chance to inflict the shrink down effect. The S3 has a damage cap of plus 2,500, and that's more or less really the only special thing about these particular skills, with the exception of the ball just being dark. As far as the traits are concerned, we got Ether Farm, physical magic attack damage cap 10,000, which is a very large number, I'll say. Damage to non-god type enemies plus 35%. Damage taken from non-god type enemies minus 35%. So obviously that's his little thing. It's as if he's fighting anything that's not a god, he gets a very huge advantage. And then we have God's Judgment. Every 10 to 12 seconds, unleash God's Judgment, dealing powerful damage to the closest enemy only when unit is alive and not fainted. So this is definitely different. I have no idea how good this supposed damage is. I guess some testing will be made by some of the top tier players to find out and let everyone know. But it's definitely an interesting trait, just having automatic damage without having to cast a spell or physically do anything. It's something. Now, it being every 10 to 12 seconds, is it a big deal? It just depends on how powerful it is. Like, if it's super strong, then yeah, I can understand the 10 to 12 second delay each time. But, only time will tell in testing, obviously. Now, taking a look at his skills, he has a wide variety of magic and just regular passive skills in general. So for magic, we have God Ruins Charisma. So he has the charisma that says skill and magic damage plus 15% for all allies. So that's actually pretty good, Just looking for a little bit of a boost. Let's say your team is not strong enough to hit cap, so you want to give them a little bit of a bonus. This is the guy for you. Not too bad. And we also have a character with the very first anima, which is basically the opposite of a boon. You're basically doing debuffs to enemies at the beginning. So this is Gods of Ruins anima, minus 30% to all enemies. So, and of course it has the same caveat as the charismas, only while they're alive and doesn't stack with other animas, stuff like that, just like you see with the charismas. But it's interesting that this is the first character that has basically a charisma and an anima. And this is going to be a trait that we're going to be seeing going forward. So this is kind of setting the standard for certain units in the future. As far as other spells, we have God Heal, Abyss Gate, and Black Hole, which is something not a lot of characters have. So this is definitely different. And we have Attack up max, Magic up max, Brute Slayer, and Human Slayer with special boost. Now that package right there, the Brute Slayer, Human Slayer, and Special Boost. I absolutely love that combination. This is the kind of stuff that actually makes me want a character, is seeing all those kind of Slayers. Because, I mean, that's just what helps you beat bosses and just, any content in general. I love that stuff. Huge SC save as well, assuming that we ever get that. We have auto crit, auto regen, auto advanced circles, auto recast. And then we have some dark stuff, dark high boost, dark drive, dark attack raise 3. That's right, we have a 3 now. So dark attack damage plus 30%, dark damage cap plus 2,000. So that's kind of setting a new standard as well. Like, this is definitely the character that's going to be starting to change things. So very, very interesting to see some of this new stuff. We got Spirit Breath, movable object, high level magic chant. So some of the standard stuff you see with most spellcasters. We got Thuma Ring, we got Bless Speed, we got Ultimate Boost 2, we got Sharp Eyes, we got Magic Aura, Rapid Recovery, and then we have God Armor. Now this is different right here. So the basic 4 stats, Strength, Defense, Intelligence, and Mind, go up by 75% when no armor or weapon are equipped. So this is kind of like a Shining Monkey kind of a thing, which, by the way, I'm sure the actual skill Shining Monkey does stack, is my assumption. So if you're into a Shining Monkey build and you want an excuse to use it, here you go. Congratulations. And then you have Destroyer God, continuous strength plus 35%, and physical damage minus 35% buff on the unit. Now, when it says physical damage minus 35% buff, I'm assuming that's a defensive thing that's shrugging 35%, but the way that it reads, it makes it look like he's actually taking it. But I think that's just kind of or maybe he's losing it. It's hard to say, but I think it's you shrugging damage, but I might be wrong. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. So, I'm not going to tell you to take my word for it. I have no idea what that last part is supposed to be. But at least we know we get a continual strength plus 35%. That's all I can tell you. The second part, I'm not 100% sure how that's supposed to translate. Overall, it's an interesting character. So, the idea here around this build is that you don't need armor or weapons. Although I'm sure there are going to be people out there that are going to want to deal with him, or just make him a full-on mage. This is basically a hybrid that you can more or less do whatever you want with, in all honesty. If you don't want to equip nothing to him except accessories, that's perfectly fine. I mean, the good thing about this game, and a lot of things that people forget about games, is that you're meant to have fun. We don't have to do all the best top, tier stuff ever. If you have a certain play style, do your thing. Nothing wrong with that. Well, overall, I think this is a good character if you really want to be creative. That's what I like about this guy. Now, am I going to be going hard on this banner? No, not really. But I still think this is pretty cool if it's something that you're into. And I do think he's a decent unit. Let's go ahead and take a look at the arc. So we're looking at Lougseus, God of Ruin. Okay, so arc attribute. We have each skill, magic attack, deals progressively more damage, max of 40%, resets after each wave. In a wave where a boss is in break, unit strength and intelligence go up by 30%. Enemy and allies faint, break value plus 50%. Pretty strong right there. When attacked, excluding unit and god types. And then, of course, it says dark attack damage cap 3,000. So, this is something that you're specifically wanting to give to, Lougseus himself. That's kind of who it's made for, but there are other characters that I'm sure would like this too, so not a problem. And then let's take a look at the skill here. So this looks like your typical damage dealing spell or ability for an arc. Very powerful dark attack against all enemies. Damage cap 15,000. All allies magical and dark attack damage plus 30%. So kind of trying to help a dark based party, which I'm sure is doable. We have a lot of dark type attackers, so there you go. If you want to have a dark team, this is a pretty good start to it. The abilities you can learn, this is one of the more interesting things in my opinion. So you have Dark Matter, Arcane up 2, so this is the first time we're actually able to get an Arcane up as a learnable passive, which is pretty cool. We got Shadow Circle, we got Death God, we have Divine Rights. So Divine Rights is battle start, magic can't be cast for 30 seconds, but magic attack damage would be up by 50%. I don't know how I feel about this arc. I think it might be good in certain boss battles that that you can't just kill within 30 seconds or whatever. So if you got a mage that you want to use as a main damage dealer, and you have everybody else that can do some physical stuff or do some healing while that's happening, this could potentially be worth it. I'm sure there's something to this that's really really good. So we don't know until we try it, right? And then we have Dark Attack Raise 2, which is also, good for any of your dark-based attackers that don't have this already, for 15 SC. So, like I said, the things that are interesting to me is the Arcane Up 2, and Divine Rights I think is really interesting too. And then, of course, Dark Attack Raise 2 is just decent in general. Let's take a look at the arc, too. Not the arc, but the Ether Reward. This is the World Break Globus. That's right. We have an accessory that says 79 to your strength and intelligence, dark attack damage plus 15%. And you get a little bit of an ailment resistance to both silence and stun. So overall, it's an okay accessory. I'm not really super hype on it. I do think that it's, a hybrid type accessory for a hybrid character, like the character we just mentioned. And there are other hybrid attackers out there as well, but this is specifically made for that particular character. Like I said, it's okay. You want to accessorize him, to kind of make a whole theme. This is definitely a good thing, but I think it's okay. Would I use Ethereum to get this in a hurry? Nah, not really. I would grind this naturally on auto, and until I can get it up there. But it's good, but I don't know if it's that good. But I'll say it's decent. And that's more or less the arc. Overall, the arc is okay. The skill is nothing to brag about. The arc attribute is decent for a certain team build. I think the skills you can learn is actually interesting, and the arc ether reward is okay. That's pretty much it for that one. Let's take a look at the paid accessory. Now, one thing that I want you to see is that there's only one actual credential item for this particular character. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. It's called Seal of Ruin for Lougseus only. This is a accessory with 25 strength and intelligence and 50 MP. Dark attack critical rate plus 5%, casting speed plus 20%. The higher the magic power, the more powerful physical attacks will be. So this is one of those. Think of the science flag from Dr. Stone. I think it's something similar to that. So I think this is going to be one of those accessories that you're going to be wanting for this particular character. The casting speed plus 20% is also pretty strong. You're going to like that. Also, you do get a little bit of a resistance to dark. You also get resistance to blind and stun. So, you get a little bit of extra stuff here and there. But overall, the stats are okay. The trait is really what sells this particular item. Like I said, the casting speed is big. And of course, the higher the magic power, the more powerful the physical attacks will be. Again, for a hybrid character, it's pretty good. And really just for any mage, this is probably pretty good if you wanted to make them do a physical DPS. That seems to be a theme nowadays with certain characters. So if that's your thing, this is pretty good for Lougseus, I'll say. So obviously we don't have to make any decisions regarding which item is better since there's only one. But I will say, if you pull the character, I think that it would be, if you're the type of person that doesn't mind investing, I think this item is worth investing in for that particular character. This will make him a lot better, give you a lot more options. Like I said, it's all around a really good accessory. So that's what I have to say about that. So overall, this is a decent banner. You have a chance of getting a UR. Understand that URs are not easy to get. Also, keep in mind that the step-ups do not include a UR arc. You're only able to get the character only. So if you're trying to chase the UR, you have to go to the actual regular banner, not the step-up, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, if it's something you really want, and you've got tens of thousands of crystals, go ahead. Like right now, I've only got about 10 kegs. I actually spent a bunch trying to get the War of Ruin arc, which I actually did get. So I'm happy about that. But I definitely don't have enough crystals to chase the UR, so I'll pass on this one and I'll just get it later. There's always chances to get URs later on, especially if whenever they have those, $100 bundles where you can get a bunch of URs and SSRs, I would probably wait for that as opposed to just chasing it. But if you happen to have, say, 40 to 50,000 crystals, it might be worth giving it a try if you really want the arc. If it's not really your thing, just skip it. Don't even worry about it. Again, this is a good banner, but I'm personally skipping just because I've already spent a lot, so I'm just going to save up for something else. But pretty cool. But other than that, enjoy the event. We got some new like mega clusters and stuff like that to get, so get that stuff so you can boost your units that are older. And then I believe you can also boost Lougseus as well. So if you pull him, you can get him the 5 stars as well, just like some of the older units. I like where the direction Adis is going by giving the older units a chance to shine a little bit, because if when you're playing casually, which I do play casually for the most part, there are certain units that I like. They may not be top tier, but I can make them good because I enjoy using them. So I build them the best way I can. I do boss fights and I just go through the story. And it's pretty fun just to use something different than what is always recommended. I always recommend people have fun. You don't have to always be the best. You don't always have to be top tier. It's a game. And what's the point of a game? Have fun. So build the way you want. Enjoy it. Now, of course, with us content creators, if you want to listen to us for different ideas, I think that's cool. But just understand we're just people too with our own ideas. And that's really all it boils down to. But that's going to be all for this rant today. Thank you for listening and taking the time out to be here. Until next time, you guys keep gaming. Take care, everyone. Have fun.